Oh yeah, yeah. But did it, cement Sadumilua Ranijing Esam Sedera. Oh, cement Sadumilua Badi, Semakorang Togreda, Samat Namadi, Sadumilua Ribaim Badi, Samachima Shanshigi, Togbala Toko Reshe, Joanitira. Oh, then Saman Sadumilua Ribati, Semakorang Togres and Asagora. Tambutanang Gaya, Samadan, Semijin Namila Memon Juros. And Kansan Gaya, Samadan Sama Maibe Namila, Mongbanjurki Mares, Koranga Toto Grace, Kara Koran Juji Samadege, and the Rosat Milu requiring but the Togri Vasagora. Gibatana, Neji Samatea, Chimashale, Milora Nekola, Tea Shala, Tebe Togamebanjuros. Gibatara, Samangamade, and Sadu Milu requiring but the Samachimachik Toguna. Samachima de Sadamilo Ribaim, but the Anchimachi dog, the Anchimasta, they took a map on your case, take your young Dosora. Chimashan never took away. The Anshan took away, took a map on Euro, Shenas, Kajik to Tobakudoa.
So now we have a hypothetical question, or I guess it's really a question, or just sort of some, feeling that there's some problem there. So anyway, authority, defined as new and non-deceptive, is either ascertained by itself or dependent on another subsequent authority. If A, then no one will be confused in distinguishing the authorities from the non-authorities. If B, that ascertaining authority will also require an ascertainment as non-deceptive by another subsequent authority, and since that authority will depend on still another, there will be an infinite regress. So in that second one, you just have one authority having to authorize another authority, and that authority having to be authorized by another authority, just one after the other.
Oh yeah. That will be Lenjagora. Oh yeah. Saw the Karesna, Rangi Rangi Moto, Tanyel and Samanies, saw the Lenjagua. Oh, take a direction. Samaku and a Corale Rangi Milua, Yula Milua, maybe. Yabayo Maresora. And a Sama Rangi Milua, the Sama Shanlaton and Equibaya Maresora. And a Samakashe, Rangi Milua, the Rangi Gingebaya, Jenia Kashe Shanla Milua and Equibaya Sigora. O te Yede Sora. Ranya Rari Musum Sama Lesura. Ran Yamsun Young and the Rari Musum Samatele. Sheba Korang, Sama Korang, and the talk Banasura. Pena Muzim Mishita Buti, Ran Yamsun Yove, Rari Degi, Muzim Musum Karsura, Ranking all the talk Banasura. And then Muzim Musum that to this age be Milua Imbe, Muzim Musum Gombola Milua Imbe, Chala, Roundup Yang Evan drinking a your Esura. Oh, Yan Sama Kaji, Rangi Shaja talk with Tutile. Chijung Tanya Samashiana Tene, Net Samade, Yula Miloa in Bayang Equibayores, Tindu Samalaya, Ranling Ebayores, Yanling Ebayores, this Egua. Yeah.
So the response or answer to this is really comes right in the root text by Dharmakirti, where it says, Cognition experiences its own essence from its own side. Authoritativeness is cognized through designation. Then, Gyaltsabje, sorry, not Gyaltsabje, but just then the response that's given here in the text written by Gyaltsabje is, it is not the case that all authorities are ascertained exclusively by themselves or exclusively by another subsequent authority, because some authorities are ascertained by themselves and some too can be ascertained by another subsequent authority. So he's basically saying it can be either, it can be both, it can be either one. This follows because we see that when a self-experiencing apperceptive authority, say cognizing blue, right, cognizes its own essence by its own power, or independently, it induces certainty of the part of non-deceptiveness that exists simultaneously with and is substantially identical to it. And because we see that some authorities require ascertainment as non-deceptive authorities by an authoritative designation that arises subsequent to the original cognition of its own authority object. Teresa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, na so da na de rangle ngo to tanye le ne chema ni shebe sawa de tanda de yan de del na yan de de so yara. Ya na chema da cheme ge nambi tardu jebe rishi ge ngor me de se tardu jebe rishi sna tongban ni musum do to be shi ge so yara. Oh, tongban ni musum sum ji zhe ge tongban musum do to be ene nyamsha shi ge ngor samada samiji namidi yo marese gora karesna te ngoro rale range ngo nyowe nyowase o nyamsha eshite ngoro rale range ngo nyowe nyowa sungzi zeta de ge tongbati sigora o sungzi yuda yujen pumba da pumji mishi zeshen ge tongba se re tinde chajura sungzi zeta de ge tongba samshi yebar tokbe echirse rāle rāngi ngō tō se tērā pakbē nyamshā eshi tīki rāle rāngi ngō sūngzī dzēshi tādē ki tōngpa tī ngō sūngtū tōgu rē se tsamatā tsēmē ki nāmi tī tōgu mā rē se kōrā tāni tsamatā tsēmē ki nāmi tī kārī tōgu rē se nē tānyē lē nē tsēmā nī se tē tē ngō rū tsamatā tsēmē ki nāmi mē nā yā nāmi tī mitē bē kyōng yō mā rē nāmi tī shā chōgu rē se kōrā kārī ngō lō shā kōrā se nā 마다 바라 내로 타둘라 마다 마제 바라 죽베 타녀베 세마니레 네 세마다 세미기 남이들 루베 실소래 어디질랍나
Alternatively, in the direct cognition that investigates the ultimate, one cannot distinguish between authorities and non-authorities, because in that case, it is a cognition that is a non-dual experience that experiences its own essence from its own side, cognizing only the voidness or emptiness of substantial difference between subject and object. This is talking about the experience in the non-dual experience of emptiness in meditative equipoise upon emptiness. It's only cognizing that emptiness. Even if there is no distinguishing in an ultimate cognition, it follows that there is no problem such that it cannot be accepted that one makes decisions, because an authority that functions without analyzing the ultimate is proven to distinguish the authorities from non-authorities. So even though it's true that a what do you say, an Arya in meditative equipoise on emptiness is not going to be able to distinguish whether it's an authority or a non-authority, that its already proven that if you have basically what's been called a conventional, what do you say, conventional awareness, or I think we had that term previously, that in that kind of, with that kind of a mind, you're able to distinguish whether it's an authority or non-authority. Drisa.
This one, yeah. That the Kajik Yan Tobacco Yorda. Ranking all Noe Cha, Ranking Musum get through by Shunga Metenji, Kajik in Tebajagore. Ranking all those, Samatezo, ranking all the Ranking Musum get Togres, Gora. Ranking all Noe, Ranking Musum get, and Musum get to Grace. The Shunga Meten, but ranking all those, Samate, Rang Yamsun, Rangi, any Rangi Musum de Tugres, Rally ranking all Togres, ranking all Yamsun, Rangi, Rangi Musumgi, ranking all the Tugre Togres, Milo Suyora. Rally rang all Tosera, didn't she Gauraco? Tanya and Samanis, Rangi Rangi Shejala, Sama Yimbatese. Radi Musum de ranking all the Togres, Shebakonango, Session about the Togres. Tanya get Sama Shangi, Rani Rangi Shejala, Sama Yimbati, two Chinjungi, and it turns in never now change, Ransan Nanging, Sama Shandajigi, and a Togres, Tanya Lene Sama yes. The Shunchima de Tengres, or the Rangi than Shangi, Same, Tunda Shabin Senati, Rangi than Shangi, Same, Tunda Yons Sogma Resewara. Rangi than Shangi, Sani Yons Sogma Maino, Selanja. Yeah.
This next part is what an objection that some have. So it says, some assert that the first part of the passage shows that authoritativeness is proven by apperception of the part that experiences its own essence. That's already been covered. That it's able, that it proves it's what do you say? That it's proved by that self-knower that knows the part of the authority that experiences its own, and knows part of the what do you say, valid cognition that is, and then it knows its own essence. And the second part of the passage shows that authoritativeness is proven with regard to its authority object by a subsequently arising authority that shows the object's efficiency. And that again being a what do you say, conceptual mind, being able to analyze that it's, whether it's valid or not valid, or authority or not authority.
This one. Yeah. Diane Kajichi Tobacco, Kedeseda, Rangi than Shangi Sheba de Cheese, Rangi age Sama than Shelling a bit Sama said, Conditional cigarettes to Yora. And you down, you Janile, Sheba Nile, you round up Jangaban Dream and take each other, and a Rangi Shangi cigar, Besagora. You round up Jangaban Dream and take your only in Amse, Rangi the Shangi Shayate, Sama de Yula. Never round up Gentina, Rangi, never round up Gementina, Shelling is a good Vesagora. When they usually use it.
Oh, the young Soronan cannot the young.
The Rangi than Shangi Shebate, conditional cigarettes, Gora, Kaji. The Tanda Dibato also. The Sama in the chat, the two children get to General Samanile. Talk about Tommy Cheris, Tibetan Rosara. But the neck days, Rangi da Shangi Sheba, the cheese, the Tortigora. You dan Sheba Nile, you are round up, Neban dream to Badan, Dream Badan, Mendrimele, Rangi and Shangi Sema, Sisha, whatever Sigora. Only in them, yeah, usually Koralia, Nebarandu Gentimbala, Rangita, Shandu Gentimbale, Shangi Sisha, Sigora. To a dear, when the usually say. This one.
Jason sing your money.
Ah,
Huh?
got it. Mare, Dibadon do Sara. Then Dibadon do Santandira. Kaiser and Joshua.
Calte, not that,
Didn't do that.
dude.
Yana Lovi Lama Shebatar, didn't do that, do you that?
De Duchi, Jungwa Dunche, Nangchengi Tseme Druba, Shung Chime Dember Durba Ni, Tendi Yongsu Jopa Mai.
Dibadon this one.
Yeah, did.
Dana did that. Yana,
Yana did.
Logan Lama Shebatar Chartesera.
No, they
I Logan Lama looked into some Shara. Karisna. Musum Tabu Sheba, you some do. Musum Tabu de Sheba Koran, you some do. Ran Yamson, you running Musum Tigi, Dog Res, Jera. Musum Tabu, Tabu Sheba, you some do. Ran Yamson, you running Musum de Dog Jera. Teda, to this age, but some in Bechadi, Dog whenever you have a Mares or Dog by Kaba Mess or Never Sasa. Sama in Bechade, Musum Tabu Sama in Bechade, two Chinjungi, Tunji Nangjengi, Tunji Nangjen de Ransen Nangi to Chibe, Tangi Sama Nile, Dog about Tonga H. This one?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Then, so then the last part of that I didn't quite read it. This is not a complete definition of self-ascertainment and other ascertainment. So here, alternatively, one can apply the explanation of Acharya Devendra Buddhi. Even if through a self-experiencing apperception, one cognizes merely the existence of a perceptual cognition like that one that apprehends blue. So you have a perception of blue, okay? It does not follow that there is certainty that one cognizes the part of the authoritativeness that is simultaneously with and substantially identical to it. Because we see that the authoritativeness part must be cognized through authoritativeness, that is a designation that has an apparent object that arises at a later time.
This one. Tangani the Kajigan Tobacco Yoda. The Kedis, Rangida Shangi Sheba de Cheese Yora. Ranling is Sama than Shanling is Sama said the conditions of Resigua. You don't Sheba Niles, Yeshe, Sunzi Mishina, you Sutabula Sigora. Nile, you Sula never round up Gentem, and then you only Yenam. And the Yusem Mishi Koran, Sheba Koralia, never round up Gentem to Bala, Rangit and Mitubala, Shangi Sigura, Vesugora. When the usually is to an Ishera. That Tambulanshi in a Sigora, Tambuta Na Sigora. You like never round up Gentem to be Samadella Rangita, Dream Nibe Samadella, Shangi Sigura Sigora. And then Geshe gets Samachima Chesho. Tawa dance. Sama Namachigi, Tosin be Yudi, Samangame Yudi Togyo, and Samachimatiga Yudi Tona, Samachima Cheshes of Tawada, Samangameja, Rangi Yugi Chakala, Rounduki, Neba, Mendena, Tuzum Changbachan to Geshe. Yula Shangi Samayana, Yula never round up Minube, Sama Yungumare, in a Sama de Samarigmare, Tizum Chugumare, Tondo Chugumare, Tizum Sawa Changi Saman Dudes, or you the Tashu Mara. Tizum Jangbachan de Jula Tedana, Toba Chunse Jan Mechuba, Samar Meru, Toba Chu, Sama said, Toba Chu, Tizum Mebache, Tashan, never change the way, then they did the Shibas Kuyora. Oh, the Toba Chunse Jan Mechuba, Sama Meru, Rosa.
Now we have another hypothetical qualm. It's really qualm. What is the meaning of the terms self-ascertainment, self-ascertaining, and other ascertained? There are objects that are cognitions. Oh, there are objects and there are cognitions. In relation to objects, one distinguishes either A, by virtue of whether a cognition does or does not draw independent certainty towards its object, or B, by virtue of an apperceptive subject. So if A, which A, to remind, is by virtue of whether a cognition does or does not draw independent certainty towards its object. So if A, it follows that the other ascertained authority will be a subsequent cognition, and the self-ascertaining authority will not draw independent certainty toward even a part of its own object. So there will be only doubt. So you're, if that is the case, because if that is the case, because neither is suitable to be considered an authority, not even a little perplexity will be cut off. Here, the idea of cutting off perplexity, as it says, is talking about in order to really understand, then you have this, before we talked about cutting off superimpositions I guess you can say cutting conceptualizations. This is a process that if it doesn't happen, then you're only left with doubt. Or perplexity, as it says here.
Korangi rangdop ki nge bata, ma nge bata, tok bata, ma tok bata cheba ya, dik ma re si gora. Di kari ka chirde si na, wangu yu tosul si gora, ka chirde ki sheba, ka nangde si na, rangri tosul si gora. Ka chirde sheba ngunzin tabu, rangi jin jawa misi bechir si. Ka chirde ki ngunzin mishi di, ngunzin mishi ki togu ma re. Transi nyeshi di, transi nyeshi ki togu ma re si. Tizinashi togu marisi, shiba kurang togu marisi wara. Jawa misibe, Jawa de togba misibe chirta. Rang yu tsamdo, rang yu rang ri ngu sumki, rang dubke ma togba, samar mirungi chiri. Tsama ina kurang, ngunzin ina da, transin nyashi ina da, kurang trubzam ina rang nyam su nyam, rang ri chi nyam do yore. Digi kurang rang dubke ma togba, tsama sigi mare, tsama ina rang nyam su nyam, rang ri digi togba kyabgiri yasi wara. Ti madonna samar rumero se rose. Ti ci glavna.
So here it starts with B, where so that was A. B is by virtue of an apperceptive subject, a self-knower. So in relation to subjects, it is ascertained that there are three topics: the definition, the definiendum, and the example, maybe, or you could say illustration or instance. An example of authority, such as a cognition apprehending blue, a perception of blue, is either able or unable to ascertain itself independently. Yet it is unreasonable to distinguish between these two, because it is these two being that it's able or unable to ascertain itself independently. Because it is impossible that an externally directed cognition, we're talking about cognitions, they can be externally directed or internally directed, means like the apperception. So here, because it is impossible that an externally directed cognition, such as the cognition apprehending blue, could know itself. And because, only the internally directed are knowing themselves. And because unless a self-experiencing apperception that just exists simultaneously with the cognition of blue independently ascertains the cognition as authoritative, that cognition will be unsuitable to be considered an authority. So it has to be what do you say, authorized or cognized by the self-experiencing apperception. That treats so.
Yeah.
No, they.
That did it. Change Munzi Musum Tabu Tengdos Gora, change Tengdos Dua. Seme change Munzi Musum Tabu Sura. Sanja de Sama Yimba Sigora. Sangi de Sardumilu Riba Sigora.
Sardumilu,
oh, this one. Oh, that change the lapsa. That change Tengdos, change Munzi Tabu. Seme change Munzi Musum Tabu Tengdo. Sanja. Seme Tanya round gang ebada Mangibale Jebaya, Yawaya, Metades, Munzing some day, Sama Imba, Sama de Tanyera, Sanjadera, Munzing some day, and Wombola, Sama Imbe, Imba de round of gay, Tele Tanya Sigora, Donda Tanya turns and a Sani de Sigua, Tanya and a Sanja de Sigua, Sanja Seme Tanya. Tonda Munzing Musum Samagin Batisigora. Round up gang about the Mangi Palachaba and Medites. Same change data any Samayimba round up gang about the Mangi Pale, Rangi and Shangi Shana, Digma Resigora. Neba the Mangi Pale, Rangi Shangi Yawaya Metetes. Same Tanya Madobe Chibada, Gangbengi Kirgi Chiba, running in my Imbar Jurose. Seme Tanya Machine Puchunju to Zikuli, Samayorva, Musum Samayore, Chaba Samayore, Puchunju Regina Co, Oma Kugiana, Katra Machine, Cake of Chigra, Antiduzanko, Omako, show him Dondo Chigiora, the ticket, Jamna, younger years, some Cake Yora, Darko Singiora, Sosuna, Take Jabusan, Cake Jamna, Living Goda. You know, Coach Cheba Yore, they could Cheba Sama in Bajada Hakumara. Tanya de Haku Mara, the Sama Yimbase, or the Haku Yamashi. Seme Tanya Madobe, Chibadanse. Gangbengi Chebase, Gangbing Bade, Corsure. 제바도 좀 밀어와 참아인 bakhelin gyo mara ti tokwa kanga non gyo re ti tende gyo mara chama ina ngusum chi bu be chabure se gwara jangbe ge ge jebade ene ranle ngebe chama mayin ban gyo krese jeba chama de ranle nge chama yin ku yora ina jangbe ge jebade ranle nge chama re de ina jangbe ge koran ge jebade 밀로에 참아 임바도 또 말해서 거라. 그 밀로에 참아 많이 섬되어라. 근데 밀로에 참아 임바도 하고 두고 말해. 예시 렌토고 말해서 거라. 뭐 디버지 질랑나?
It is also unacceptable to distinguish between independent and non-independent ascertainment through applying the designation of an authoritative example in the Definiendum. So here, I don't know if that's very clear. It's talking about, well, you've got we've just set up what the illustration is, what the example is a perception of, well, cognition apprehending blue, perception of blue. So then the definition is that and let's see. What's being defined then is this term valid cognition or authority, and then what's the definition is then new and what do you say? A new non-deceptive mind, awareness, however you want it. And here it says cognition, a new and non-deceptive cognition. So, so then if we reread this, it is also unacceptable to distinguish between independent and non-independent. Here, independent and non-independent means by its own power or not by its own power. Ascertainment through applying the designation of a authoritative example, authoritative, what do you say? Yeah, authoritative example, or what did we say? Illustration in the to the Definiendum, because or what's being defined, and what is being defined is valid cognition or authority. So then. Because inference will not be self-ascertaining in the mind streams of fools and lokayatas who do not understand the term authority. Here, fools is maybe not a good translation in this case. It's talking about children who children, it's an infant really. Infant has some kind of inference because they figure out that if they scream, they're going to get fed. So then, but they're not, they're not able to ascertain that this is a valid inference, and also lokayatas or sometimes charvakas, are sometimes people translate that as materialists, do not understand the term authority. They have the idea of that only direct perception is valid. They completely, reject the idea that there are valid inferences because they feel that inferences always make mistakes.
Yeah. 다 생이 밀려와서도 생시체 천재체 생이시거라. 생이스는 삽도 밀려야 받으시거라.
네.
언제 삽도 밀려야 받 tanzania 삽도 밀려야 받으시거라. 네. 생이 밀려와 랑도게 삽도 밀려야 받 참아 고랑게 랑이 삽도 밀려야 받데 아니 네바다 망에 발레 랑에다 샹게 지나미체네 되게 도시거라. 생이 밀려와 랑도게 네 망에레 넘버 제나야 랑에 샹게 지켜버 제나야 되게 도시거라. 가르스나 경뱅게 규지 제바 랑에 많이 버줄데스 경뱅베 규리 제바 요아레 도와통을 때는 되게 매여 선배 다슈베 로요라테 제바레 되어라. 경뱅 규지 제바데 랑랭 예바 많이 버줄데 경뱅 규지 제바데게 아니 제바데 멜야 밀레 삽도 밀레 셰바임바데 또 말해서거라. 가르스는 거의 똑바 손자 제바한테 저도 강가도 루아레 섬게거라. 루아이 마도 디밀로 마레 섬거라 지나. 데 루에 캐버 데베시로 셰나스 어디바도 가지고 저와 숨고 제딘 가지고 대화를 받대봐도
대패트 같이 해봐. 대바도.
대바도 대땅만에 저 숨고 그거라.
네.
senshi 천자 생이세 텔랑도기 네반데 만데네 점바이슨 되면 도시기도
So this is the last part of this rather long-winded question. Sorry, that's my own observation, but it's I didn't realize it was this question just keeps on going. So then here also when one investigates whether the characteristic non-deceptiveness here now he's talking about the actual definition, and so then it's really in the definition here. It's not the characteristic. Whether the definition, or if you prefer, you can say defining characteristic. So non-deceptiveness is or is not independently ascertained. One sees that inference will not be self-ascertaining in the mind stream of lokayatas, because they necessarily assert inference to be deceptive. The lokayatas, as we mentioned previously, then are they don't accept inference because it's conceptual. Anything conceptual then is mistaken. They're just they just accept perception, or we're calling it direct perception, or whatever. Yeah, and that's
this one. Da ona chebala de hoda tamade. Tena se mesila tena milu cha rando gengena range cherwa. Shendo gengena shenge su tipo de this one. This one.
Chepakla range da.
Tipo de this one.
Oh, gun me. So gun me de, so.
Oh yeah. Gun me de Didn't so much. Didn't semi sensual or the daughter. Didn't semi sensual, Muzi Musum Tabu Desigora. Singing is a get so much of a kind, certain below a require my Trebek of Resigora. In Bess, Rangi Sheze Chakana, round of Jangeva Mendemba, Sama Missilas. Rangi Sheze Chakana, round of Jangeva Demetum, Sama Sema Resigora, Chito or Sama Edusa. Todusan congregation didn't round of Jangeva Dengode. Did the Mary Samsanchi, touch of a congregation didn't to Squara. Missilas, Tena Seta, Milu round of Jangena, Rangi Resugora, Ragi Yula, Milu the round of Jangena, and the Rangi Shend of Jangekuna, Shanga gets Samasa Resugora. Ralu Farlan Jagua. Yeah.
So this is the response from our own particular system, I guess we say, our own position or our own system. There is no problem. When one investigates the authority that ascertains the non-deceptive defining characteristic of authoritativeness in the Definiendum, one sees that it is impossible that an authority not draw independent certainty towards some part of its own authority object. Therefore, when the non-deceptive part is ascertained independently, that is self-ascertainment. And when it is ascertained by the power of another subsequent authority, that is other ascertainment.
Yeah. Otayna Yang Chugdwa. Ona Jebala Rangi de Machaban Guroshinet. Otena Kasura. Milu Chala Neba Rangdu Chintena, Rangi Guguna, Cheba Samana, Rangi Gugurwa. And it's Tangbin Beguji Cheba Samade, Rangi Rede, Rangi Yula, Milu Alotini Neba, Milu Chala Neba Rangdu Chinten to Marwa, Kulua in Bangdugurwas and some Nasigora. Oh, came me they say, Tangbin Beguji, Tuetale, Tuden Lala Me. Tuden Lala Meto with Samate Sigora. Chitar talk with Tobala, round up Jangeba, Tongue Betchers, Co, Jangben Chabadigia. Oh, you get me some Tobanashi, you get Donna Mengone to Tobia, some Tehaku Resigora. So, Milu turned out the truth, and I could the Milu Maris, killing your mother, Milu turned out some of the round up Jangan to your Resigora. Think about dental man, Koyiga Meko in a Koyiga Drumaro. Ragu and Tashugora. In I did Milu Amara Kadu Kavara, some Gora. Koyava Kadu Karam, Milu Amaris, some Gresigora. Oh, Tom Bessie, Milu at early about Trubosa. Otiba de Chilamna.
So then another hypothetical question here is, well then, inference will not necessarily be self-ascertaining. And thinking that this qualm is coming up because, like, what's going on with a lokayata, a materialist, should we just say materialist? So then what's going on with a materialist? For instance, that they can't be, because they don't accept that that there are valid inferential cognitions. Okay, they don't accept inferential cognition as an authority. Then how can they be, self-ascertaining? And so, but then here, our own system then responds and says, there is no problem. When materialists understand by authority that there is fire in a smoky place, from the reason smoke, it is well proven that they are undeceived about the object because they draw independent certainty toward attaining the object they have recognized, they have cognized. So then he says, well, there's no problem, even though they have this, what do you say, tenet system that says that, I guess you have to say tenet system, or their tenet system that asserts that there's no, that inference is not valid. They still act on their inference, and act correctly. They can go. They'll see the smoke and go towards the fire. You know, they'll assume that there's fire there, and so they're having a correct, a valid, what do you say, an authoritative inference. But if you ask them, you know, do you accept inference? No, they say that you have to be right there in front of the fire, and then that's valid. You can see the fire. So so that's the response. Lhasa, Drisa.
Oh yeah. That chama rangi da chijung le chama da chemi susur ngena tenju samba tweme ban gyuro shena sigdo kaji tokba kudo soba sigdo. Chama koran le tene chama rangi milua imbate da. Ene yana rangi ngema tuna chama chijung ke tanibe chama shen le tene chama ngamate milua imba. togi yona sigora. And Samadan Samajan Nambi Rangi Juji Samatosu Tondo to Asagora, Shink to Asagora. Tina Tanju Jikapsu and it's Saman Namsha Mambushamala, Tunda Mendo Asa, Shakuya Mendo, Rangi Juji Samatosuke, Samayimba, Mayimba, Hako to Asagora. Shinase, Kajusabara.
You can think of this as a debate also, as another way. You think it is bringing up an argument, I guess we'd say. And so then, if authoritativeness and non-authoritativeness are respectfully ascertained by an authority itself, and an authority that arises later, then the composition of commentaries will be pointless. And again, bringing up this point about, well, if you can determine it, why do you need any of the? If you can determine it on your own, then why would you need any commentaries? That Drisa.
Drisa. Yeah. Title pa lenja gyora. Tanda su toba kweswa. Til lenja gyorda. Sawa de karasan tenjo mongban doji yin se dera. Tenjo mongban doji yin se.
Yorwa.
Dig lenja gyora. Sawa tira. Tene tenjo chame tenjo desigora. Chame tenjo tozo ane tuje juji chamala logbar tokbe mongban mishibe mongban mangbu yore. Tozo dogbe cheto re sigora. Tenjo teme ba maide Sama Milua Yimba da Mayimba de Sama Rangi Juji Shebe Sama Togi Yona Yansagora Sama Tenju Jikasu Sama Namsha Sheba Tomeba Mahinde Sora Riji Samar Sheba so Tarbe Tabla Mongban Dogbar Chekoba Yimbe Teche to Sombe Echesora Riji Shi Sama Yinsara Tarbe Tene Tarba Toji Tablia Mongba Mambu Yongore Tezun Dogbe Chedo Shagore, so Ombu Chama in Singara, Wong don't change that the Mambu Chamanam Shanga Mambuyora, Madame Mambuyora, or Tezupa Kane, Sheba Saltumilo, Sheba Conalia, Samashagore Strugiora, Rigi Samar Sheba so Tarbe Tabla Mongban Dogbar Shekuba Imbe, Teche to Sombe Cherise. Yana Tamja Kimbekanya Charity, Nyamdula Shantigra. Tenju Mongban Doji in said Sanje Kai 공부지 tenju cheme tenju lo majawa che cheme ka sanje chumden dege ngusum do cheba do cheme ko sungu yora doale ne meshe da chujalan chushi de sero cheba sungse yora ngusum tokba dan tewa da matu sheba yese tende sungse yora o de sanje ke kai ka so chema da cheme je namsha sungba te zoya ane teme ba mare riji samar cheba so mongba do ba chi sungba rese kada tenju nigali chane de re sungara
So then the response here is the commentaries, it says shastras, or the commentaries are not pointless. This is our own system because it is necessary to, well, in the verse maybe we have to mention that the root text has this line which says, commentaries affect a reversal of delusion. So then here, it's our system to then say, respond to that qualm, or no, what do you say, argument that the shastras are pointless, by saying shastras are not pointless because it is necessary to effect reversal of the delusion that the Vedas, etc., are authoritative methods of attaining liberation. So that, and it is thus that the shastras are composed. Then that's pointing out that shastras are, or if you prefer commentaries, are the commentarial treatises. There's another word for it, but let's just use that. Then these are these are brought forward to what do you say? Reject these mistaken or misconception, mistaken points of view, and to establish the correct points of view, and so in so doing, then in the commentaries, there's a lot of discussion about what is valid and non-valid cognition, and among many other topics. So then. The last line here, we can say, alternatively, the line can be applied to the words of the Omniscient One. That is the sutras. That also in the sutras, these we can say the same thing as we say about the shastras, the commentaries, that the actual word of the Buddha then also has all this discussion of these points in order to reject the mistaken views held by others.
Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Tunda do some gora. Kasura. Ruchi chama yensara. Ruchi shinalia kare shayunati. Kibi machebe sigre. Rangshingi kochunge. Sixire sigora. Rangshin chote somba boyo mari chik shashabtende mare sigora. Otina shashaba sama dembare sigora. Ti kare sune ko kibi machebe rangshingi. Moyo nesu kare inati na sheko chuji jitaji chungne ko sheyore sigora. O kibi chebe sigena ne nondru mambu yungu rese. Kansalian mishibe momba meba nondru menge kansa yo mari kyan kangate kansali yodu kansa ke chebe tene chuji jitaji ina shungji ina kyunje imbe kyabgu rese sambiora. Ali dichi labda.
The Vedas are considered by the followers of the Vedas as being valid, what do you say, authoritative. they're the only thing that's authoritative. And the reason being that the Vedas in their system are self-arisen. That they were not, no teacher, no human, no person created them. And and therefore they are authoritative because if it was created by some person, then they would be full of faults or mistakes and so forth. So they're absolute. It's probably better just to say they're absolutely true. They're authoritative.
Oh yeah. Odinduko Richie Shonal Karishedo Tauresegora. Tina Chisha no de Resche, Chasha de Resam. Till Maresodon Maresam Burmado, Naranjo Chebachene, the Musumbi Chesuton, Togbe Chebachene, you can Nelu Chimachishin Toya, Young Maresegora. O Tina somebody Chasha Corese. This is so round of ye. Musumda Chebal Tennis, so. Ci torni l'andur ci è ti shatugi omara ti mena ne medaba da tunga da tonga da mese and tin kanga de to tugumara da stina sheshare ichi chene to wasigmara tina shesha injire se wormatu je o ti diko tezuchi peche ci chashan tina sheba samare sam rangi ngone cheba che meba tinde hina ani ko l'andur ji ne da tezulia Juni, Yamoseda, Tarwa Toyeda, Tanichi, Shechalo Lodrike, Tezumeva Chagra, Goti Duco, Junji Samazine, Tina Sheva de Imberesam, Yichi Amarese, Soso can go to Musum, Jitruba de Shirson, Teletening Musum de Madobe, Shevata de Cusayanda Kune, Landor Genet, Sama Soso Sheva Chetugurese, Gan Kanga Seto, and then can go to Gurese, Titru. Semenam Shato Shehu Yora. O Tidlam Nachi.
Therefore, the followers of the Vedas then say that that you just have to take what the Vedas say and accept that as true based on accept that as true, as valid, as authoritative, and you can't then subject it to some kind of an independent, if you want to take that, or by your own power, an independent examination or analysis. The Buddhists then say, well, you're not going to get very far in understanding impermanence and emptiness and overcoming your afflictions if you just take everything at its word based on faith. You can just sort of go, oh, this is it. This is really true. That's as far as you get. You can't really then come to understand what is it that has to be adopted and what it is that has to be cast aside. There has to be this kind of analysis through then you have these commentaries and indications in scriptures how to go about this analysis, and then you have to then apply this analysis yourself in order to develop this knowledge of what it is what needs to be adopted and what needs to be cast aside.
Oh yeah. Oh, didn't go casore. Richie de Chamare, the Kibu Chabamare, Kibu Chena, going Grace, Lavdelia, and it Kibu, and then some Kibu Yorasa. And Kibu Maje with 6 years, and can have a young Shag Marese. You then can get Kibu years, Uncle Kibu Chebe, 6 years, and it temba tende yonguru mado kibi maje bole yonde kibul yore yonde mebachi ani sikchilia temba yongsing mare sungora
kibi mazom
ko ge dagi kibi maje be sikdile temba yongsing gire sigora kya kanga kibul yosa kibi ki chebe sikchina kya meba yongu mare sigora ote yonde kanga kibul yora kibi maje be sikchina temba kawa yongsing gire se sigora no dijila.
The Buddhists also come back at this idea that a self-arisen text has no fault, that anything written by humans then would have flaws. And so then they counter this by saying, well, how could for human beings have knowledge and other good qualities, then how can these be generated unless a text is composed by humans?
That's right. Oh, didn't I say to the co? Shabbat to Sama Maria de co. Tada Kusan attended Tokba Chipo, and now I did that day, now I'll tribute at Chabakanga, Tokbakanga. Now I'll tribute Sigora.
Now I'll tribute.
Oh, Rusumina, Tokba the Trash, Matria, Basigua. Now I'll tribute my Medoton, Konakari, Nati, Chimachi Tongiora. Now I'll tribute Mara. Tokban they called the Sambutan the social now at Yore. Tunjisigora, Telechis, Tunjisigua. Dungeon Jana. Tenda Medo Munet and Draboji Sam Chargadua. Dungeon Jana Sigor, Tunjisigora. So now it's Chartedua. Medo Regina, Medo the Chargadua Tanda. Then Medo now at the Medo Munet Mare. Corakadu Samutane co Dayora, and Medo Shisha de Tobalia. This one. Tobal Medo Shargivara. Or the Medo Munet Nandi Medo di Medo Chiu some dead. Michi Kagas Tiba Kisona, Nehamaguna, Digan Medo de Yusam, Daganashi dead, Kabayo Mare. Kisuna called Medo Mare. Medo Mares or a Tunji said, Medo Mare Titi, Medo Yin, some Medo taking Monet and Drain, Konang de Yora Kora. Coca do some time at the Yashora. Medo Kisana, Tagitigan de Medo Tendeshu, some J. Now Shagadua. Now I'll treat the now the Tagda de Omar, Duatoni Pig Mayor somebody, or make a day Chijun Tendeke Omar. Koran assembly have major charge of the major some J. Nagiora. Could treat the order. In a Koyga Mayor said somebody, some look tired under the tree of Mar, you touch Yora. Jaji Jatambako Yora, Tende Yora. In a could now and she taught Yomar, in a could Memana, you get Memana, to a young mare. To a Mayona Musum to a Tungumara. And to a Tondo, you get to undo that Mayores and Pogiora. So could Norio Mari, you send it, you say under Retiora. Or the Sambal and the Lumish, Tribaya, Samanichara. Some look at that Tadakolo Martoya Yore. Miluare takes you to keep it on the Miluare. Now the Tada Deo, now it's 2 day ora. And Yinako Sambala Lumide Tribaya Samaya, now I'll train at Samashacho days. Shanda talk about the now I'll tribute Samayama. We assume this Chibu Samarese. The Sigora.
There's this position then that also that for the materials that only perception is correct. You know, it's unmistaken. When you can have a we can use the word sensory perception, but just a visual perception of something, then we know that there's no mistake involved in that. Then, whereas if you have inference, if you rely on inference, then inference is full of mistakes. In fact, your inference has this mistakenness about what's appearing to you. For instance, if you when you see the flowers here, then that's a direct perception, and you know the flowers are there. But then, if you just if you close your eyes and think about the flowers, then you somebody could take the flowers away. Something could happen, but for you, then the flowers are very much there, and so then if somebody had taken the flowers away, then you would be mistaken. So then this whole problem then gets brought into so then the assertion then is that thought and the thought is totally mistaken. That you have this what is being translated sometimes as generic image, right? But that generic image is, or you could just say concept. And that concept is, wrong, because it's not always accurate with what's happening with the actual object that you're having that concept of. So, so when you have inference, then they say, well, it's not reliable because if you see smoke, then you can think there's fire, but you don't know whether it's a big fire or a small fire, or how that fire is, and so you're completely mistaken with respect to how that fire appears to you, and but yeah, that's true. That from the Buddhist perspective, that's true. But your thought that there's fire there is not mistaken. You're right about that there's fire there, and so for thought, it's you're not mistaken. But as far as the appearance is, that's mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Nambi pechagre pecheshedura namri kasuna. Penas tokpatilia chamayon yebe pechegra. Oh, taginganzo 이게 메요와 강변나로 메요라 칠로네 도와덤버라 그 나로 메데코 통요 말아 무슨 통요 말아 네 도와 통장 도와도 무슨 통하라 도와도 도와고 내려고 통하라 도와 통네 도와도 미식 통하라 무슨 거 통하라 무슨 통하래 근데 다 도와도 다 메요래 삼고 쳐바시거라 메데 간데 마침부에 중중에 좋아인다 신이까 하고요 말아 이나고 요 삼개월에 근데 그 균은 될 때라고 자요고 이게 그게 매드면은 또 용거 말아 도면은 동생 무슨 지가 말아 무슨 마지 나오게 미기 도 통송 삼 삼을 코토고 말아 근데 그 균을 거는 자요로 그 매통고 말아 도 통하래 될 때는 도와 다 매요 삼 쳐바지거라 수술 빠거라 이나 고다다 이거 여러와 토야 여라 메토에 밀로하래 기부대 밀로하래 대간로 거기가 매 가둘레비나 메라야 여라 그 자기는 메토 쳐그래 칼라고는 또 쳐라 로 매버래 대선가 그 밀로에 삼아샤오래 해서 그래 톱토야 여라 해서 기불로고 말해서 그래 빼나 대패셔도 Palan, Pajun Rechira, Palan Rich make those dead dinner. Palancoran Rachun and Jude, and we soon Nashiri Congonete, Judeora, Palan, Kambane Juna, Lakbane Juna, Rajune Juna, Junaco, Musum Nashiri, Monete, Sindeora. Taco, Palan Kill Tagba Jab, could Tagba the Judeona. Palan Jude years ago, Palan Yoma, Lakbana, Palan Yomare. They could talk what you some that tip, Mengone Yomare. Mengone Yomara, Mengone no Coba Sigra, Cobanal Mayogura.
Casa me, and then made it Tampa because
Cobanal Yora. Okay, did the made Tandaco made to Jishani, that degree. But you did. Ragone Juna, Moneran Jura. Jura, Dimusum Nashira. That the Tabas Gabja could talk about the Jude, and I tell Taba Javuna, could Paju Jude Yore. Pajun Ziorco. Lakbana Tana, Toban Tana, Yomar, Tabamato Yomar. Tawara, Ina could Pajun Jude Yore, could Paju talk the Yore, Dinashi, talk about some time that the Dinashi race ago. Chazan Tobal Shago race. Musum Nashi said about the Maritina. Don't have troop to your Milo rate to your rest to your Chibat Sama Toba Sama Yavuchi to your number comes.
There's an example here in the Pramanavarttika that sort of illustrates that they're about inference. So if you, but before getting to that example, if you understand that some kind of Cuba, maybe some kind of a connection, maybe we could say between like if there's a smoke coming from a building in the distance that you can see, then you're going to infer that there's fire. Okay, you might not know what kind of fire, or is it a big fire, small fire? There's no way of knowing that. So you're not. So there's a mistake as to what the fire is, but this does not. But you have this. There's something I just mistranslating it. I didn't translate before. Just that you have you're having a perception of the smoke. Okay, so based on the perception of the smoke, then you can then make this inference that there's fire there, and then this will cause you to go to the house that's where smoke is coming out and deal with the fire. You know, you're just going to go there. So so you're having a direct perception, a perception there, and so then so the idea is this is communicated by as another example in the text that where you where you have a balang means like a cow, okay, a cow. You have a cow. You can grab the cow by the foot or by the tail or by the horn, right? And that's obtaining. So the idea of obtaining again is important here. You can go and actually obtain the fire in the house, right? The idea is that it's non-deceptive. That being non-deceptive means that you can go there and obtain the fire. In the same way, you could have you can have a cow that you could, in order to hold it, you could grab it by the horns or the tail or whatever, or the ear, and then. But you can also, if you have a rope attached to the neck of the cow, then you could. That's enough to hold the cow, just having that rope. But But actually, all you have obtained is the rope in your hand, and that the actual, that what you have, what you've obtained is the rope, but you have the cow. So that's an example of how inference works.
Bisa. Oh yeah. That tunda kari shegurasana. Richi samar cheba so tarbe tab tezulo mangban dogbe chidu tsame namsha sungu sungora. Oh di indiko richi nani shesha reese. Di temba imba chasha. Oh da ingi reese di imba reesamna soso ge cheba chigmara. Soso ngune cheba chigmara. Oh di na shedoga. Oh da di temba reesa. Daga chasha mado soso ge cheba chene ngui sumda. Teletene cheba chene. Ane kari imayi tajine soso ngune cheba chene taju chete mere rore. Isha togu mare. Di indiko pigi nali she yu na ya di demba reese pigi demba re tandi sheba kanga demba reese tende samlu tangi yo ma reese gora. Pigi nali she yu na ta chogura di na shesha di kande ina sam soso cheba chego reese gora. Shung nali she yu na kasi nga talang roswa demba sanji chumden dega sung yu na di sungpa di ngu sungla tukpa do she di kare ina sam cheba chene ane samlu ko ne cheba chigi yore di chene ane ko hako yore serwa o di na shi che pecha na she ne ta chogore di na sheba di ngu ne re ma re kande re samle so so ngu ne ngu sungdan gege me duwa tokpa chi ta da gyu sen yang da da tingu duwa ten so so tak chi che gora di tak chi chene ane so so ya shinye de langja kare torcha kare ngobi nechu kare kanga so so she tokura pigna she re ta de himba rese na kande rese na yin sung sha ta re de yo rese tinde la ma do nge ta che to mara rese ya so so nge she ni yo mara o ti indi ko namba ke kare so rese sanje ke sung ye na ya sung ba de cha sha go mare tele sung ba na shi te ma de so so ga ha ko chi che ba chi so ra ti mu sung la to de ge do ngendo che ba ta la ko o di takda re de no da de re sha temba re sha sanje so temba re pha sha gura de tada rigji chema re sha chene so so neba menge re sha ndura pigi na chen de ta sha so so chen to mara o di inde ko cheba che so so ngu sum da cheba le tene ko ju gi ne tham je to thup gre se rang she chang ge thap ti re se tele tene to thup gre pe chen na kar she ne ti ta je so so cheba chene ni mai de 타주 제톱그레세 어디시고라 어디인데 소소 랑돌은 주베 주조데 소소리요레 시럽요레 참마요레 참마나네 조데 시럽들은 도날 시럽듯이기도 당제생게 시럽디 어디인데 랑게라 견세서브레 연대쪽도 시제내주 간데 간가 하고도브레 소소치나 소소한데 산제나 시제제 산지 샤케토바나시 줄기요레세 산제 코라 마송 샤데 나주 냠레체네 티나시 나주 차요르 티시에요라 어제전 코 참마데 티시에데 타르바도 탐제 캠버트 웨체도 시에고에 게심버레송도 티치라 근데
the followers of the Veda then say that you can't you have to take the Vedas just at their as being authoritative. You can't if you subject the then you shouldn't subject them to any kind of what is said in there to any kind of analysis. You have to just accept. You have to accept it as it how it's said, and just accept the words as they are presented to you, and it sort of just so you have to have some kind of based on that some kind of belief that this is just the way things are, and so you just sort of have a kind of what do you say, a blind faith, and then that whereas the Buddhist approach is not like that at all. Okay, that you have to take what is that that you can subject what the Buddha says and what is said in scriptures to analysis through using the process of inference and distinguishing what's valid and what's not valid, or what's authoritative and what's not authoritative, and then if you can, so in so doing, what you're doing is increasing your own, what do you say, the power or strength. You're relying on what we call wisdom, or discriminating wisdom, and so then you're generating, you're able to then take the teachings of somebody who's reached to the final goal of complete enlightenment, and then if you then subject those to this process of using your discriminating wisdom, or discriminating analysis, or your discriminating intelligence, however you like to think of it, then you can use this process of inference, valid inference, and come to an understanding of that, and based upon that, an understanding that that's perceptual, that you can perceive the objects that are hidden, okay, and you can come to understand them perceptually. If you constantly, what do you say? If you are involved in analyzing and analysis, right? If you subjective to analysis, then you become, what do you say? Kind of you strengthen yourself as the new. You become, you have some kind of power or strength, however you want to think about it, and that gets stronger and stronger. And so then you can then proceed through the path that is being laid out, and in this fashion, and reach liberation and omniscience, and so that's why that's the emphasis that's on that's being stressed by us trying to understand what's what's authoritative, what's not authoritative, and through this, and so then that process then eventually brings us to a full enlightenment.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that. So that's the end of this class.
Yeah.